Hello, this is Sunburst Baser. A few times I've gotten questions, where did I get my screen name that I use all over the internet? And musicians tend to figure it out as soon as I tell it to them. That. A Sunburst P bass. Sunburst Baser. I prefer baser over bassist. But yeah, this was my second bass, my first good one. And it's still a P bass type of bass. It's still not a Fender, it is a Richfield. It's an upside down Richfield. Richfield. And Richfield is another one of those off brands made by Chinese children. In this case, I believe, but judging by the headstock shape, this came from the same factory as the SX basses, which are very popular low-priced bass guitars. So this one is considerably better made than the Purple Beast over there. It's basically the same kind of thing. It's a single pickup precision bass. Nothing fancy about these. The only thing that really separates it from a Fender is, if you count the frets, 12, 15, 17, 19, 20, 21 frets. It actually has a fretboard extension. There we go. So that you have a full 21 frets instead of just 20. That means the biggest thing about that is you have a high E up here to go with your low E down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 E's, 3 octave range, a full 3 octave range, which is only one note more than like a Fender with a 20 fret neck. But if you play in rock and roll bands, you know that you play in E a lot, and having that high E, if you play up in the upper register, having the high E is nice. So this bass is pretty much exactly what you would expect out of a Fender. It's got a very simple bent tin bridge, just a very simple bridge, very plain pickup. That's the original pickup. It does have chrome dome knobs, which are the screw-in kind, big white pickguard, and a Sunburst finish. The body has some weight to it, and it feels like it probably is alder. And it is 3 pieces that are not very well matched. You can see, especially here, you can see that this one's got very wide grain versus this one. And up here again is a third piece, which again goes to very wide grain. So it's 3 pieces of wood. They're not very well matched, but it does have them. Just one little finish nick. There's a few more finished nicks here and there, but nothing bad. The neck pocket is actually well made on this one. The neck actually is maple. It's got the dings in it. These probably won't show up on camera very well, but it does have dings in there like any well-played bass. Tuners are higher end as well. Instead of being pinched down, these are actually like soldered on or something. I'm not exactly sure how they're made, but they're significantly better. And rosewood fingerboard. So this bass really isn't special, I guess. It's special to me, but if you play the Fender P bass, it's exactly the same thing. This one does have fairly high action, again, because I haven't adjusted it in forever. It's been sitting in the closet in my parents' house. I don't play this bass anymore, so yeah, it has been kind of neglected. But you can tell a musician. I know I was in a car wreck, well, a fender bender, about 1.5 years ago, maybe a little longer. And when I called the insurance agency and said they wanted an email address, I said sunburstbaser@gmail.com. The guy that I was talking to was a drummer, and what he said is, "Oh, that makes me think of a Sunburst Fender P bass." Well, that's exactly what he got. He was right. That's what it's named for. It's not a Fender, but same thing. And eventually what I'll do with this is I'll straighten the neck out. I'll give it a truss rod adjustment. It has round wound strings on there, which these are Everly strings, I believe. And they still have life on them. Probably more than the Ernie Balls on my Reverend, although this one hasn't been played nearly as much. But these strings are... The last time I restrung this was in high school. So these strings are at least 9 years old now, if not older. and they still have some life left to them. So what I'll eventually do one day is I'll restring this bass with flat wounds, and this will be my James Jamerson Motown type of bass, just that nice old classic Fender P bass sound. I might change the pickup at some point for a better one, but it sounds okay. It sounds like a P bass. It doesn't have as much low end as I would like. Some of those old Fenders had a lot of low end. This one's more kind of the mid-rangey, punchier P bass sound. You know, there's only so much variation with a plain old P bass. You know, you have to start adding electronics and pickups and stuff to get a lot of variation. But, you know, you can't go wrong with a precision. They only do one thing, but they do it so good that a lot of people never go away from a P bass. So, there's where Sunburst Basser comes from. There's my first good bass. Hope you like that. This is Sunburst Basser signing out.